Hello, welcome to Knuckle Sandwich. This is what we've been waiting for all month, maybe all year. This is the biggest fight card. It's in Abu Dhabi. They're weird times. We'll go over that. They just had the press conference an hour ago, our time. So we're going to jump right into it because there's a lot to unravel and get to.
There's a ton to unpack, and welcome to Knuckle Sandwich MMA with my cohort, Mr. Nando's in the house. He's got all the stats, specs, and he's going to enlighten us. Because we have a limited amount of time, and this card is so stacked, I'm going to run through the prelims real fast, and then we're going to focus on the main card. But we always want to give proper respect to all the fighters because they put in a lot of work. They work really hard to get where they're at. So first prelim fight of the night, we have Carol Rosa versus Lena Landsberg. And Carol Rosa is at a minus 250 advantage. And then next fight up, we have Muhammad Makhachev versus Malcolm Gordon. Now, Muhammad is the guy to watch. Okay, watch this guy because this dude is an amazing fighter. And he is at minus 645 over Mr. Gordon. So that's a great fight. Next one up, we have Armen Petrosian versus AJ Dobson. And Armen Petrosian, they got a lot of Russian fighters on this card. He is at a minus 210 advantage over Mr. AJ Dobson. Next up, we have Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov versus Gazi Omar Gadziev, both Russian. And Abu Bakr, sorry guys, is a minus 175. Next up, we have Zabira Tukagov versus Lucas Almeida, and he is at a minus 155, Mr. Tukagov. And you have something that you want to say about this guy?
Which one?
Zabira.
Zabira is part of the Khabib camp, and when all that stuff happened with Conor McGregor, and Khabib won and jumped over the thing and punched Dylan Daniels, this was the guy that jumped over and punched Conor McGregor while Conor McGregor is trying to figure out what just happened. So he was suspended for like a year. He's got good stand-up, and he's one to watch. Let's hope that we don't have another event like that.
That's funny, man. All right, let's see who else we got here. We have got Volkan Osmadir versus Nikita Krylov, and that's a good fight too.
This is one you got to watch.
Yeah, that's a good one to watch right there. And he's at a minus 170, Nikita. And then next up we have Mahmoud Muradov versus Chal Borrallo. And Chal Borrallo is at a minus 225. He won his last fight in spectacular fashion. Pretty big dude, too. So that's going to be a good fight. And next, at the top of the prelim cards, we have Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady. This is the one I'm super psyched about, you guys. This is going to be a great fight. And I'm not going to pigtail at the end of this podcast because I got to think about this, man. But it's a good fight. We have Sean Brady at a minus 140 over Bilal Muhammad. Go figure.
He's 15-0. I'll just go through this real quick.
Okay.
He's 15-0. Michael Chiesa, Renzo Gracie, Camp Bilal Muhammad. He's training with Khabib right now. He's from Rufus Sport. He's good movement side to side. He had that fight with Leon Edwards. It was an eye poke. He feels that it's not fair, and he wants this to be good so that he could fight Leon Edwards because he didn't lose. He didn't lose to Leon Edwards. It was a good fight.
100%. Agreed with you on that. And if he's not going to get it before Usman, unless Usman can't come back for a long period of time. But if he wins in spectacular fashion, I do agree he's right up there in the mix, in the conversation. All right, now we are at the main card, guys, and this is where we're going to have Fernando give us some cool stuff on these fights coming up because this card is just spectacular. I'm super excited about it. Everybody's excited. In fact, Dana White said this card is trending on pay-per-views like nobody's business. I mean, they're looking at this from all over the world. So it's going to be interesting. everybody's going to bring their A game. As I was watching, before we began, Nando, as I was watching the interviews, these guys all seem pretty tense. I mean, even Sean O'Malley, who's usually, you know, cracking wise and that kind of stuff, he was pretty focused and intense. And I think they all know that this card, they've got to do a good showing. Every single one of them got to do a really good showing and drive the point home of who they are and their styles and to entertain. So without further ado, we're going to go into the first fight of the main card, and that is Caitlin Chookagian versus Manon Farrow. Manon Farrow. We've got Manon Farrow at a -180 from France versus Caitlin Chookagian from the United States. Go ahead.
Okay. Caitlin is 18-4. She's from Renzo Gracie. She has wins over Amanda Ribas, Jennifer Mia. She has great wrestling, great jiu-jitsu being from Renzo Gracie, but she's got a tough task ahead of her. This Manon Farrow, she's 9-1, wins over Jennifer Mia, great kickboxing. She's really large for that weight class. I'm surprised that she's not bantamweight. But yeah, she runs right at these girls, and she's punching and kicking, and she does not take her foot off the pedal.
I agree with you 100%. And we're going to start picking them for this card, you guys, because I think it's important that you know who we think. But I am, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing for me. I really like Caitlin. Caitlin doesn't have knockout power, like in my opinion, you know. She's a good fighter all the way around. She's a well-rounded fighter. But I don't think that she can win at that very, very top level because, you know, when she fought the Bullet, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she fought the Bullet, it was no contest. I mean, it was kind of an easy fight. And then you got Farrow, and she's fairly new to the game, not super new, but she moved up and she's a very exciting fighter. I think she's got the knockout power. I think she's got the strength, whereas Caitlin just doesn't have that muscle power. She's great movement and everything like that. But I think I'm going to pick Farrow on this one, not just because of the odds, but because of the fighting style. Who do you got?
I have also Farrow, and I'm writing it down this time, so you cannot go back and say something because I'm.
Man, it looks like I got a freaking sunburn or something. I don't know what's going on there. I'm all red. Maybe I'm embarrassed.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the next fight. This one is super exciting as well. We got Beneil Dariush versus Mateusz Gamrot. And wow, what an exciting fight and super, super ultra competitive. What do you got on this?
Okay, Dariush is ranked 6th. Gamrot is 9. Dariush is on a 7-fight winning streak. Great grappling, great pressure. We know a lot about this guy. We know that what he can do, but he's kind of like a John Finch in the sense that there's not a lot of eyes on him, and he's not doing a lot to get people on him. And he needs to win this, and if he wins it, he needs to call somebody out. He needs, because if it's going to be a Leon Edwards thing, if he wins and he doesn't get a title fight, like they gave Leon Edwards the runaround until he got the title, and if he wouldn't have won it, he probably would have never got a rematch or anything. Gamrot is tough as nails. He's grinding, explosive hands. I'm personally going to go with Gamrot. I'd like Dariush to do well, but I'm going with Gamrot.
Okay. All right. I like your analysis there. I feel the same way you just mentioned Gamrot, of, you know, not making himself known, not doing what's needed. You know, Dariush is in the same boat, man. You know, he keeps getting pushed down, push back. And I think it's just because, you know, even in one of his interviews, he says, I'm not a beggar. I'm not going to beg for a title shot. Dude, you got the wrong attitude. It has nothing to do with begging. It has to do with making yourself known. If you're going to keep quiet and stay in the background, that's exactly where you're going to stay. Even if you're winning. You know, look at, and you brought up a great point with our current champion, you know, and Edwards. You can't be silent in this game. You gotta make yourself known. You gotta make statements, and you gotta go out there and say, I want this. Okay. Not saying I'm not begging for it. I'm not going to beg for it. I'm not a beggar. You can't do that, man, because that doesn't put eyeballs on you and that doesn't put butts in the seat. So if I'm giving one piece of advice to my friend Beneil Dariush, I'm saying make yourself known. You know, you don't need to talk a lot of crap, but you got to really go after what you want and make it happen. I'm going to go with the opposite on you on this one. So write that down, sir. I'm going to go with Dariush because he's got something to prove to the brass. And I think that's what he's going to do on this fight. All right. Next up, we have Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. Wow. This one's crazy, you guys. Even for the way that this fight came about, it's crazy. We got Petr Yan at a -305 and Sean O'Malley at a +255. Take it away, Nando.
Okay, Petr Yan, he's 2 losses to the champ, which technically it should be 1-on-1, but the scoreboard doesn't lie. You know what I mean? He's got wins over Sanhagen. He's short, he's fast. He is a slow starter, and that's what's going against him in this fight. He figures you out in that first round. He downloads the data, and then he gets after you. Now, Sean O'Malley is a quick starter. He has a no contest to Pedro Munoz, and he lost to Chito Vera. He's a long fighter. He's hard to keep down, and he's a fast starter. So in this fight, Petr Yan's going to have to not really download anything. He's going to have to get after him. He's going to have to punch him. He's going to have to try to take him down, and then he's going to have to punch him some more. I think Sean O'Malley needs to keep him at a distance and try to knock him out, but time it. Petr Yan's hard to time though, so it's gonna, in this fight, Sean O'Malley, you know, being 3 rounds, it's in his advantage, but I think Petr Yan is just a little more skilled. And if Petr Yan wins though, what do we do? If Sean O'Malley wins, oh my gosh, UFC is like Scrooge McDuck throwing money in the air. They're going to be so excited because Dana already said whoever wins this, title shot. Doesn't matter. Sean O'Malley's ranked 11. He's number 1 after this. Petr Yan's ranked number 1. He'll go down to 2 or 3. It's not a big deal for him, but so I'm going with Petr Yan in this. But if Sean O'Malley wins, it's going to be early.
Now this coming from the guy who goes for the underdog. Give me a break, Nando. Come on, man. You're going against your own philosophy.
You're beating me so much, and I want to bet a fresh beer on this one, so I'm trying to win this beer.
I'm calling you out, Nando. I'm calling you out. No, that's a great analysis once again, Nando. I can't disagree with you on that. Petr Yan has nothing to lose, or no, excuse me, everything to lose and nothing to gain if he's number 1 already, logically, on paper, right? Sean O'Malley has everything to gain and nothing to lose if he loses to Petr Yan, because he can say, hey, I'm number 11. He was number 1. Gave you a good fight. It wasn't entertaining. I was entertaining, right? So he has nothing to lose. If he wins, like you said, I do agree, the UFC is going to be going, yay, because he's going to shoot to superstardom. He's already a superstar now, but this will definitely put him in the title mix, bar none. And that should be super exciting. Now, here's the thing that I want to break down from a statistic point of view, or a fight IQ point of view. They're both fast, okay? Petr Yan, he can get in there. He can get in there against longer fighters because seems like he's always fighting longer fighters. But O'Malley is kind of a different animal because he's really good at that long jab, man. And that long jab is a stiff long jab. He can hurt you with the jab. And that's the difference. Power-wise, I'm going to give the edge to Yan, but O'Malley's no slouch there either. So I think it's going to be a good fight. Here's the differentiator for me. If Yan throws leg kicks, okay, that's going to be the telltale of this fight. If O'Malley can avoid the leg kicks, He's going to do really well, and that could give him the chance to win. But I'm going to go with Jan with you. Write that down. But I want O'Malley to win. I do, just because, he's the guy that brings the charisma, the excitement and everything to it. And he's going to be talking all kinds of smack. So that's fun for me. I like that kind of stuff. All right. Woo. We worked that one over. All right. Next one up. Here's a long-awaited Aljamain Sterling coming back after neck surgery, all kinds of stuff going on. And TJ Dillashaw is coming back from a long layoff as well. He got pretty beat up with that Sandhagen fight, right? He got a lot of injuries there. But they're favoring Aljamain at 170 with a TJ Dillashaw plus 145. What do you got on this one?
Okay, this, how they said the BMF belt, this is the most hated bantamweight title. These are two guys that for some reason everybody hates them. Okay, they hate Aljamain because they say he's a crybaby and and then they hate Dillashaw. They call him Pillashaw because of him doing the PEDs. He was a man. He said, I did them. I'm sorry. He took his punishment. Aljamain took his punishment. We should just let these guys fight. Let that go. Okay, now let's get down to the stats. 21-3 for Aljamain Sterling. He's on a 7-fight winning streak.
Great record, man.
He has wins over Peter Yan twice, Corey Sandhagen, Pedro Munoz. He's a black belt under Sarah Jiu-Jitsu. That's that Sarah Longo team, and they don't sugarcoat anything. When that fight goes, if he's not doing well, Ray Longo's going to get right in his face and tell him, "Hey, you're fighting like crap. You need to, So that's a good team. Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo lost, suspended 2 years. He has no quit though. This guy, I don't know if you know, but there's a great wrestling coach named Leister Bowling. He's from Colorado. He's part of like Team Grudge. He did stuff with St. Pierre. He's like a great wrestling coach. Dillashaw went to him. He was living in the bunk beds with the college wrestlers for this. He says, he left his family. I am doing whatever it takes to win this. And I think he knows that this is probably his last shot at the title.
Well, he is getting up there in age too. I think he's what, 37?
36.
36.
Aljamain's 33. But, he might get another title fight, but he's going to have to wipe the floor with everybody else. Yeah. This is his fight to win, and he knows that. Aljamain's got some jiu-jitsu. I don't really remember Dillashaw against somebody with high-level jiu-jitsu and that orthodox style, but I think Dillashaw's going to stick to what he knows. He's going to cut off the ring. It's going to be a very similar style to the way he fought Cody Garbrandt. He knows it's 5 rounds. He's not going to go crazy in the beginning. He's going to try to figure out the timing, and he's going to try to win this on points. I don't think he's going to try to knock him out. I think he's going to try to win it on points. If he has the chance, he will knock him out. But I know they're saying Aljamain is the favorite, but I'm going to go with Dillashaw.
Okay. All right. Good analysis. Love that. I am looking at, Aljamain. I think if TJ Dillashaw has good sprawl and he can avoid the takedowns that Aljamain is going to bring, I think that's going to discourage Aljo, and that'll lessen the takedown attempts, especially if he can employ kicks. TJ Dillashaw, if he starts kicking the legs a little bit and moving around, keeping that distance, changing up the distance in and out. I don't know who's got the reach on this one. Do you know?
No.
Let me see. Reach, yeah. Aljo has the reach at 71 inches to TJ Dillashaw 67 inches. So Dillashaw's going to have to work harder, in my opinion, to win this fight. He's looking good. He was looking confident in the in the interviews. Aljamain, man, that dude, he complains a lot, dude. He complains about all kinds of stuff. But I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to pick TJ Dillashaw. I think that the one thing that you said is that will push it over the top for me is that Dillashaw, this may be his last shot at a championship, at least being a contender. If he gets submitted or knocked out himself, he's going to bump way down on the ladder, and he's not going to have the time, I don't think, to build it back up. Three fights with substantial wins to get back into the contender series circle. I just don't think that's going to happen, because he puts in a lot of he cuts a lot of weight too. But I'm gonna go with TJ on this one. I like both of them. I don't like the complaining. I don't like the PED use. I don't like any of that stuff. But their styles are so different. It's going to make for a very entertaining fight. I don't think it's going to be points. I think somebody's getting submitted or knocked out. All right, we have the main fight on the card, and this one everybody's talking about, and I mean everybody. We've got Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. And tell me all the rumors, man. What's going on? What have you heard?
Okay. First of all, Charles Oliveira 13-8. He's 11 fight winning streak, quick strikes, great grappling. He has wins over Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee. Islam is 31. He's ranked 4th. He has 22-1. He's a 10-fight winning streak. He's Sambo. He has wins over Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Thiago Moses, and Drew Dober. So this is very, very interesting. I have my views on this, but I'm going to go over just stylistically first, and then I'll tell you my beliefs. I think Islam is going to wrestle. He's got one way. He's not going to take chances. I think that might be a problem if he doesn't take chances. He's going to just try to win this. He's going to try to smother him. He's going to try to take him down. Now, Charles Oliveira is great at standing, great at grappling, but we don't know the difference of him grappling when it comes to someone that's going to try to grapple. His strikes are very clean. He's the key is going to be when Islam, which will happen, takes him down. He's not going to be able, he's got to not let him to not have him turtle. Like in this position, he's going to roll. He's going to have to roll. Let your canvas be on your back, and you can work better from there. So what I'm thinking he's going to have to do is Islam's going to want to have both of his knees like this, both of his knees down. Charles Oliveira is going to have to push this knee back and this knee forward so that he can sweep him. Don't let him posture up. Don't let him dictate this, because he's going to try to take this into a long. He hasn't been in 5 rounds, but he feels that he can do this. Now, this is my belief. I think Islam is not ready for this. I don't think that. I think Khabib, Josh Thompson, DC, all these people are telling him how great he is, but he's not proving himself yet in the big lights. And I think that's going to be his problem. Even in the interview, he's like, I'm going to do this. You're not Khabib. I know that you think you're Khabib, but you're a different fighter, and you need to fight like a different fighter. You don't need to fight like Khabib. You're not Khabib. You don't have that type of fighting style. He needs to try to take him down, try to fight him standing up. And I think that's going to be the biggest problem, is Oliveira's going to give him problems. And every round, you start on your feet. So it's another chance for Charles Oliveira to you know, it's okay. It's your turn now. I want
No,
to hear
no,
what you say before we
I
pick.
love that. You know, that's good. So you're picking Oliveira. You're not saying yet?
No, I want to
Okay.
hear what you say. I want to
Okay.
see if maybe you sway me or something.
Okay. Well, here's my analysis of it. Makhachev is a heck of a wrestler, a heck of a grappler, really good at ground and pound, and really good at holding people down and keeping them down. But he hasn't faced anybody. When you look at Oliveira's last fights, he's faced the killers of the killers, okay, and beaten them all. And
And faster than Khabib.
yeah, and you know, and it's you can't look past that. You can't look past that kind of stuff. However, those guys weren't wrestlers either. You know, you can say Chandler's a really good wrestler, but he never utilizes it really. And the same with Gaethje. Poirier, he doesn't like to wrestle. He likes to strike. So, but at the same time, Charles can roll. He can move on the ground. He can fight off of his back. He's got submissions every which way but loose. I think Makhachev has one way to win, whereas Oliveira has about 6 ways to win. And so when you have that many tools in the toolbox, and he's not afraid to use them, that's the thing, Nando. He's not afraid to try stuff. He's not afraid. He's not going to play it safe. You know, he's got a good fight IQ. He does get hit. And Makhachev does hit hard, but I think I'm looking at the reach. He's got about a 4-inch reach on Makhachev. Legs are almost identical, 41 to 40.5. But I think he's been in the limelight, like you mentioned. Okay. He's fought for that championship before. I don't think he's thinking of the last fight that he won because, you know, he missed weight and there was a great big debacle because, you know, they said he on the scale outside, he was on weight. And then something happened with the scale where the official scale, and he was off weight. And I don't think he's thinking about that. I don't think he's thinking, okay, I'm going to show these guys they shouldn't have taken my belt away. I think he's solely focused on Makhachev and looking at some of the video of his camp, training a lot with wrestlers, heavy wrestlers that just weigh on you and lay on you and lay on you. And he knows what to expect. Now, I think in the press conference, Makhachev was saying, all I'm going to wrestle him. I'm going to ground and pound him. I'm going to get him out of there. Okay. I think that was part of a head game plan. I think that even though that's what he does and that's what he always does, I think he's going to mix it up just a little bit to put him off his game, to catch him. He's going to set traps. Okay. And he's going to set a lot of traps and see if Oliveira falls into one of those traps and gets him. The worst thing for Oliveira, in my opinion, is if Makhachev gets his back. If he gets his back, and especially if he gets his back and then gets him against the cage, that's where his bread and butter is. That's where Khabib, his bread and butter is. Get you on the cage and then just pins you there. So he's got 3 arms. When you use the cage wisely like that, you got 3 arms. You don't have 2, okay? Because that cage helps pin you down, and then you can do your other work. However, I think that Oliveira has a great way to roll out. And like you said, he can sweep. He can do all kinds of stuff. He can put you in a arm bar. He can triangle you. His legs are so long and wrap. And he's got the great dexterity. And so he can wrap them any way he wants to wrap them. And he's not afraid to fight off his back. He's at home there. So with the striking, the kicks, don't forget the knee. Okay, don't forget the Oliveira knee, dude, because I think that's going to surprise Makhachev, man. I think he's going to catch him with one of those knees. I don't know if he's going to knock him out. I think he's going to be a hard guy to knock out, but he's going to rock him with one of those knees. You watch. Mark my words on that. So with all of that said, Nando, I am going to go with my boy, Oliveira. Uh-oh, he's putting on the coat. Watch out. Watch out, you guys. Yeah,
I'm going with Team Oliveira.
that was awesome, man. I like that. That was a classy move right there.
I'm going with Team Oliveira, and I think the pressure. I think here's what I really want to say. I think this is going to be a great fight. I think Islam is going to fight him again, and I'm going to say Islam beats him in a trilogy. But this is not Islam's time yet. He needs this fight. If he wins, that's great. Stylistically, there's good fights for him. He's probably fight Volkanovski. That would be a great fight for him, you know. And Oliveira said if he wins, he wants to fight Volkanovski for the title. So I don't know if they would let Oliveira, because he has weight problems, to even go down to another 10 pounds. That's a lot.
Mhm.
And who would be more important? Would it be Volkanovski to try to take his title? I mean, I think Charles Oliveira would have a better claim to go, no, I just beat all these great people. I want to take his title. I'm higher ranked than he is. You know what I mean? So that's a great conversation. We'll have to dissect that later. But yeah, I'm going with Oliveira. I think Oliveira's got all the tools. I think he's ready. And I think, you know, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this. I
Yeah.
think there's ways for them to win, but I think the lights are gonna be too bright for Islam this time.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you. Like I said, I think he's got a lot more tools to draw from. And but you know, you bring up a good point with Volkanovski. Man, look at how he inserted himself into this mix. I mean, seriously, they're used to saying, "Well, I should have been the backup." It's like, dude, you gotta say what you want. You gotta go out there and promote it. You gotta promote yourself. We talked about this a couple of episodes ago, Nando, where you've got to be your own promotion. You don't just rely on the UFC to promote you. You got to promote yourself to the promotion.
And then he did a bunch of videos. He talked about the fight. Every time he talked about the fight, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. You know, they asked him about it, and he did his own media run.
Yeah.
And every time he said, I'm gonna fight the winner. And then I started going, well, yeah, he probably should fight the winner. I don't know who else. And Darius is like, I
Yeah,
don't
and
see.
but see, that's what I'm saying is he's that good. And look at what this is how good Volkanovski is. He's getting Oliveira to say, I want to fight him at his weight class and my weight class. So he wants to fight him twice, you know. And even Makhachev, they asked him at the press conference, he's like, yeah, Volkanovski would be a good fight, you know. So Volkanovski's at the top of the food chain, and he's not even in that weight class. Get out of here with that, man. And Volkanovski, who wouldn't want to see him fight? Because that dude's a killer. He's a killer. He made the last fight with Max Holloway, he made him look really bad. He made him look like Max didn't belong in there, which Max did, but he made him look so bad. You know, he was just so many levels above Max at this point now that this is not far-fetched at all of fighting the winner of this one. But that's what I'm saying, man. I like Beneil Dariush. I really like him. I think he's got a great fighting style, but he needs to work on his promotion. He needs to work on that because he's still, even if he wins, if he's all silent and he doesn't do a call out at the end of the fight when he has the mic in his face, that's a big mistake, man. It's a big mistake. A lot of fighters do that. Well, whoever the UFC gives me, come on, man, call it, and go large, go large. You know, don't try to play it safe on the call out. Go big. That's how.
Yeah.
If you look at all of them,
Call out Francis.
Diaz did that, and it worked. It worked. You know, he's like, give me Francis Ngannou. I'll fight him. I'll fight anybody. And that's what you need, man. It's you know. So Darius, if you watch Knuckle Sandwich MMA, which I hope you do, take that from me. Promote yourself, man. Promote yourself. All right, let's wrap this up. We got about 2.5 minutes left, Nando. What are your final thoughts on the overall card, where it's being held? Talk to me.
Okay, I want to go over a couple things with the fans. All right. Tonight they're doing the weigh-in show. Well, this will already have happened. But the weigh-in show's at 10:50 tonight, and the ceremonial weigh-ins are at 6 in the morning tomorrow, Friday. The fight prelims start depending on where you're at. It starts for us at 8 o'clock
In the morning?
in the morning. The main event is at 12 o'clock. What would that be? 2 Eastern,
Yep.
11 Pacific. Yeah, this is going to be a great fight card. It's a great like noon kind of thing. You can do whatever you want afterwards, and this is going to be a great fight. And then this is setting up this fight. All these fights are setting up other fights because the fights underneath are setting up fights with the guys that are winning. So like as soon as the Dariush fight happens, you're like, all right, he's next in line for this for the title. You know, Sean Brady's next for the title. You already know these Ozdemir and Krylov. That's going to be a great fight. You guys got to watch that one.
Well, speaking of that, before we run out of time, let's pick Bilal Muhammad or Brady. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Muhammad.
You're going with Muhammad? I'm going to go with Brady. Write it down.
Okay.
I'm going with Brady. All right, guys, that's all we have. We're out of time. We just want to thank you for tuning in to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. And we're going to do a post-fight show on this one because it's that big and it's that important. And the things that Mando brought up as far as setting up for future fights is going to be really important. And we're going to break that down too. So we'll see you guys on the flip side. Don't forget, watch these fights because it's going to be amazing. Thanks, Nando. We'll see you later, man.